Stealth wealth is what everyone's talking about lately in the fashion world, especially the watch world, and no one does it better than Cartier.
And I think they always have. There's always been this kind of old world charm, this rich history of luxury that Cartier just exudes, but they've never been one to kind of shout it from the rooftops. It's always been whispered. If you know, you know. And I think what we saw at Watches and Wonders this year was a really, really good example of Cartier just killing the game like they always do.
Right.
It was so good.
Right on that theme. Well, they have such a deep design history. They have so many archival pieces and designs they can pull from. They don't need to come out with anything new. But it's always exciting to see what is going to come out because we always have our favorites we're waiting for. Roadster didn't come. But George and I were in Watches and Wonders in Geneva at Watches and Wonders for 2023, and we got to sit down with Cartier and see all the new pieces.
And Cartier is always my favorite to go to because you have to understand the frenetic pace of Watches and Wonders can be breathtaking, and you see a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff comes through your fingers. But the way Cartier does it, you're whisked off to this absolutely luxurious room where all four walls are a screen, and you have these great tables, and they bring the pieces over to you. And they call it touch and try, and it's as
touch and feel.
Touch and feel. It's actually as luxurious as I feel Cartier is. I think they just do that part of it better than anybody else. And you end up just wanting everything, just being in that environment. You just want to wrap yourself up in it. It's great.
It's so true. It's so true. So lots of pieces that caught our eye this year. Where do you want to start?
I'm going to start with the one that's probably going to be most available to most people.
Okay.
The new green Santos.
Yes, very cool.
It was stunning to see live. And I want to warn you guys, I'm going to bring this up a couple of times. I don't think photography does it service.
No, not for this watch, not for this dial.
They tend to really highlight the green, and that's not the story of this watch. If you remember the blue, came out a couple years ago, then they redid it last year. That blue dial isn't really a blue dial. It's really dark. It's almost black until you get it right on in the right light, and then you see the blue. The green's the same way.
Yeah.
I believe they called it smoky green.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a really apropos name for that dial because it is this wonderful dark smoky until the light hits it just right, and then.
But again, going back to that like quiet luxury, I mean, you can wear that every day. It's not screaming green. It's not a Kermit green in your face. It's very quiet.
Yeah, and especially with everybody doing green at different volumes, this is a whisper of green. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect
really
for the theme. Yep.
Let's talk a little about the Santos-Dumont. That was a cool release. Skeletonized Santos-Dumont with paying some homage back to the original Dumont, who it was named after.
Yeah, the original pilot's watch, if you will, and some would argue the original first watch. It goes all the way that far back.
That too.
In the Cartier lineup. I think, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, this might be their first automatic skeleton. I remember something about that, but the execution's phenomenal. They had this little rotor at like 7 o'clock, and they actually have, it's a top-down version of Dumont's plane, which is really fascinating. It's something you kind of have to see live because all the subtle finishing on that plane is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Really fun, really whimsical. I don't know who this watch is for, but when it finds the right home, I think they're really going to appreciate it. I think super limited on this one too.
Yeah, and what I love about being a dealer for Cartier, a lot of brands are doing a lot of this boutique exclusive, online exclusive stuff, and it makes it hard because that's the stuff you want and it's stuff I want to help you get, and I just can't. The nice thing about Cartier is we're all pulling from the same pool. Nothing's more exclusive than anything else, but it is more of an application process.
Yeah.
You have to become a fan. They have to know who you are. You're going to have to, pick up some stuff before you can get into these velvet roped kind of situations. But you can get it from anywhere. Anybody that's a Cartier dealer has access to all this product. So that's pretty cool.
Some dealer insight, Santos-Dumont was really fun. Should we talk about the Baignoire?
Absolutely my favorite woman's watch of the show. It was, again, it doesn't photograph well.
No, I think when we saw this in person, everyone in the room was like, oh, yes. I mean, Just so, it really combines jewelry and watches. And if you're a fan of both, we finally have a piece that really speaks to us. It goes both ways, and it's just gorgeous, and it's tiny, and it's perfect.
It's so well done, especially when you get it in hand. It's got this perfect weight. The way the bracelet clicks to itself is just so satisfying.
Yeah.
Even as a guy,
Really well
I'm like,
done.
I would totally rock that.
Totally.
It's a functional love bracelet. I could see women stacking it.
Yeah,
All three
that was
metals.
the idea. Stack it with your love
it's so
bracelet.
cool.
It's very cool, and I think we'll be seeing that later this year.
Yes,
That'll be really exciting.
That's going to be something that you'll see through all the
We love
outlets,
that watch,
so,
bringing back again some of those old designs.
Yeah. The Baignoire, the bathtub was
bathtub.
one.
I know I was going to do that. People don't believe that, but it's sort of shaped like a old
the oval. Yeah, sure. But yeah, keep an
not?
eye out for that one because that was really spectacular.
That one was fun.
And then they also brought back the tank Américaine,
Yes.
which was interesting.
We love a tank release.
They hadn't done this since they did a privy collection, the Cintre, which it really wasn't tank Américaine, but it reminded me of one. Not really reinventing the wheel on this one. They changed the curvature slightly. The crystal's a little bit different. If you're a fan, this will feel very familiar.
It's just sort of like bringing back these older designs, if you will, into the current modern day.
Yeah,
That's all.
just a little massage. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. But very, very well done, as Cartiers want to do.
Beautiful watch.
And then Privy Collection.
Want to get the fancy stuff?
It may be my favorite stealth wealth. There's a couple of watches I really, really liked this year, but the Tank Normale.
Yeah.
The Tank Normale, particularly in platinum on that 7-link bracelet.
Gorgeous.
Crazy good.
Bracelet was very cool.
It's satined, it's small, which is weird because I don't necessarily do small watches, but it's just so perfect. It was one I kept going back to it. I kept asking to see it again. They kept having to try to steal it out of other guys' rooms.
I think it works because of that weight too.
Satisfying.
Very satisfying. Doesn't scream like a yellow gold watch or not super shiny.
And ironically, they do it in yellow gold too. But the way it's satined, it's just warm. It's just inviting. It's not vulgar. It's not something you're going to like across the room and be like, oh, who's this guy think he is? It's just perfect. Problematic. In both the bracelet models, they're doing 100 pieces application.
Yeah.
And then they do them on a strap as well, which is interesting too, and also very, very well done, Cartier. I believe there's going to be 200 of each of the strap models. So realistically, if you're thinking you want one of these, contact me, contact your local dealer, do what you can to get on the list to get this piece because it was spectacular. And then they did their other tank skeleton.
Oh, yes.
They did a day-night 24-hour skeleton.
This was cool.
Now, initially, I had a problem with this watch, and it's not the watch, it's me. So it's a skeletonized tank on a 24-hour dial. And the way they did it, the 12 o'clock side is your day side.
Right.
The bottom side is your night, the 24 hours down bottom. So they actually did it as like a day-night colorway. I can't see the hands down bottom. Now, it's not the watch, it's me. I've gotten to that age where I just can't see it. But my favorite thing was when you look at the skeleton.
Yeah.
Like the first time you noticed on the old skeleton tank that the base plate formed the Roman numerals for the dial itself. Right. They did something really, really cute with this one too. On the 12 o'clock side, the structure of the movement creates a sun, and down bottom is a crescent moon. So you know what? I don't care if I can't see the bottom of it. It's spectacular.
The good news is you'll likely be asleep.
Yeah. That doesn't
so it
even
doesn't matter. But yeah, super whimsical. I mean, you have to love these designs with Cartier and their design codes. I mean, they're so thoughtful, playful. We didn't even notice that.
It wasn't until we were reviewing later. I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect.
I know. That's perfect.
So if you get a chance, stop by your local Cartier boutique. All these models will be coming out in the next couple of months. They'll be kind of rolling out as we can get them. But just spectacular stuff. And again, thank you, Cartier, for just doing what you do really, really well.